We're expecting anybody else? You bringing anybody else?
No, I'm not.
Okay, so I'd like to call to order the meeting of the Cold Spring Zoning Board of Appeals. We have a workshop meeting tonight for 4 Fair Street. I also had, I did have, what did I say?
Fair.
For
It's for
Furnace. Sorry, 4 Furnace Street. And I did have minute review and approval on the agenda, but we're not gonna get to that because we don't have enough people who were at those meetings, so we'll have to wait until our next meeting to try that. I'd like to introduce Eric Worth, his first meeting on the zoning board. He was appointed about a month ago, I think, and this is our first meeting since his appointment. Have you been in to sign the book?
Yes, I have.
Great, so you're official. Okay, so the purpose of our of this meeting is to make sure that the application for 4 Furnace Street for a 6-foot fence is all in order. We're not going to discuss the merits of the fence, or try not to. Sometimes it's hard to avoid it a little bit. And we will save that for the public hearing. So we're going to review the documents, make sure we have everything, tell you what you need to do as far as notifying neighbors and any changes that we might want to see on the application. And then if all goes well, we'll try to schedule a hearing for the next possible meeting, which would be on the 17th of May. All right, so why don't you just give us a brief introduction to your project and tell us, where your house is, where you're putting the fence, and then we will look through the documents.
There's an existing fence there now. The house faces Furnace Street. It's the first house on the left behind the flower shop. And there's a parking lot beside the house that used to be just partial. The parking lot was the length of the house, and then the rest was grassy. And then a couple of years ago they paved it. So cars drive through there, cars park there. Let's see where the fence is. Let's see if you're
We have more copies if you want to get a closer view.
yeah. But there's an old wire fence that exists there now that's rusting and falling apart and filled with poison ivy and is really an eyesore. And cars park out there and get fumes sitting in the backyard from cars' exhaust. And I just would like to put up actually I was thinking a 5-foot fence with a 1-foot privacy topper on the top and get rid of that old wire fence. It's about 50 foot of fence that borders the parking lot.
Okay, and your property is in R1 and it's surrounded by the B1 district where you're planning to put up the fence.
Yeah, here's a photograph if anybody wants to take a look at that.
It'd be a good idea for your public hearing to take some of these photos and print them.
I printed them out for the
So we can see them and
visual
the public
stuff.
can see them.
I'll do it again. Okay, great.
This shows the whole length of the fence?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. That's from the back of the house
And-
it touches the building that faces Main Street behind it.
Take some pictures standing on the street of the whole,
I've got a whole
Sure,
there's a
match.
whole bunch of photos in there.
you
so-
could just print them up so
Okay.
people can see them.
Okay.
In case anybody comes.
Okay.
And the fence is on your property, so it's the current fence is your fence?
It's right on the border, on the property line. The house sits on the property line, so.
So the fence is your fence, the existing fence?
I guess it is mine. Like I said, it's right on the property line, so between the parking lot and my residential property. So,
So your plan is to take it down, assuming it's yours?
yeah.
Okay. Well, there's nothing needed by us for the taking down of a fence. If there were to be some dispute about the ownership, you would want to try to figure that out before you take it down.
Sure, I can find out who owns that lot and that property.
They will get notified, but it might be, courtesy to just check so they don't
Okay.
This is the wire fence you're talking about, right? Right here? This, right there?
Yeah, it goes from, let's see.
Yeah, and it says right here, it says 1 foot out, which means it's 1 foot on their property,
Hmm,
okay? So
okay.
that portion of the fence is on the neighbor property. Is that Downey?
It might be.
The people that own the corner building.
I think
This
that,
is the
I
parking.
think that Downing bought that.
Yeah, and they extended the pavement back, I
Yeah.
remember when they did that.
Okay, so that's
So
down.
this fence is on their property,
Hmm,
and then it
And look at
It,
runs in.
it comes in and it looks like, yeah, building face online, so your building face is right on the line.
yeah.
So I don't know oh, this is your building.
Yeah, this is all my property here.
What's
This
throwing me
is my
is
house,
that
this is my
shaded.
driveway, this
Right.
comes around, that's my
Okay.
garage, this
So-
is my little garden back
All right, so you're talking about doing the fence to the back of the house,
there. Yeah,
because your house is right on the line, so you
Yeah.
can, right there. All right, so that fence is definitely on their property, according to the survey. Yeah, here it's 0.4 foot out, so 0.4 foot is decimals, so it's 4 divided by 12, that's how many inches it is off the line.
yeah.
This is 1.0, which is 12 inches off on their property.
Okay. So I need to contact Downey then?
So that's, between you and them.
Yeah,
Okay,
if you want it down, I guess they would have to do it,
okay.
or maybe they would let you do it for them, I don't know. But you could certainly put up a fence on your property anyway, I think, I don't see any reason
There's no, that
why you couldn't apply for that.
typically what people do is they pull it off an inch or so from the property line, so there's no dispute about,
Right, right.
is it on or, but that's between you and your fence builder.
Okay. Well, I'll talk to Downey anyway, I'll get in touch with them.
So, that's the edge of your house. Yeah. Well, I think we could still consider the application for the fence,
Sure.
and then you'll have to work out with your neighbor whether they wanna take it down or, take it down for you, or let you
Take
pay
it
to
down.
take it down,
Okay,
or leave it up,
all right,
that's up to you two.
okay, sure.
Okay, so we've got the application, this is the secret, which I think is definitely gonna be type 1, but we'll review that at the meeting. We have the plan. Is everybody okay with the visibility of the fence, or would you like to see that highlighted or something, of the planned fence?
Well, he has this one here, which
Okay,
Yeah,
I think that's pretty
provided
clear
that.
about where the fence is going.
okay, and this
Um,
shows the existing fence too.
Yeah,
Okay.
So, you see, you have that one? So that's a,
Does the appearance of the fence form part of this application? Is that something relevant to our consideration? The structure, the construction? the
certainly
materials?
helps,
But that's primarily the HDRB.
yeah.
I think, I don't know, did you get into fence materials and?
Well, I think just a general idea about what kind of fence people are proposing to put up, because we're talking about the character of the neighborhood. So, yeah, I think that, there's a big difference between like a chain link fence and I mean, we did, so, right
Okay.
or wrong, character of the neighborhood.
So we have one copy of the application. So we've got 6 Furnace, which is your immediate neighbor,
yes.
5 and 3 across the street,
Mm-hmm.
and Eagle Enterprises.
That's the owner of the building behind, that faces Main Street.
Okay.
The fence goes up and touches. I didn't have Downey, I didn't know.
let's just make sure we've got everybody on your notification list. How many other cars are parked right up against your house? So you've got the one behind you,
Yeah,
that's the Eagle Enterprises,
yeah.
and then does Downey own that entire
I really don't know. I
building?
know they bought the corner, but.
So you need to, sorry, my stupid computer won't load the map. You need to notify all of those neighbors on Main Street that are bordering on that driveway, I would think. It may just be the one, but I don't know. So you'll have to look into that.
You mean everyone who lives in that building?
Just
Or
the
owner-
building
just them,
owners.
okay, yeah.
Um,
I wonder if it's relevant that, this is my property here, which, we share a corner, labeled here Ladue, that's my property.
right.
So, here's his corner. So if they meet at the corners,
Because here's zoning district map for a second. Oh, so,
But yeah, that's,
so why don't we just find, where's your parcel on this map?
so it is, it's that sliver, right?
Right there is
Yeah, that's it.
Which one?
It's-
Which is-
It's this one. I just marked with the tiniest X.
Yeah, right there.
And this is Eric's property.
Okay.
So looking at that, that might be an extra, that might be a second property. So you'll need to figure out who owns that building, if it's just the Downeys or if it's somebody else also,
Yeah,
so you can notify all of them.
okay.
I don't know if we want the Romeo and Juliet building, if they need to be notified. They can probably see it from their side door.
I think we should notify, buildings along Furnace Street, that's what I think. I mean, definitely like Eric, and then, like right in here and right in here, it's kind of, 3 or 4 properties on either side,
When I put those, the immediate across and my immediate next door neighbor.
Right, so you wanna go beyond, so do you wanna add this one, which is the one with the 6-foot fence we denied next to the Hartfords last? The one with the, so is the
that
posts
predates
up?
me, I don't know anything about that.
You know the
so-
one with the posts that are still standing up in the yard?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Uh,
I wouldn't think they could see your fence
Yeah.
from their property.
there's, visibility from the sidewalk, from Main Street, this gap here. Valentino is, today the, Joseph Jewelers building, and he has a parking lot right here, which goes through to the sidewalk. If you're standing on Main Street or in a house across the street, you can see, about 2 car widths, parking lot. So the fence would be visible
Yeah.
to anyone in that position, walking by. So, I don't know if that means a neighbor across the street has an interest.
I think this is gonna be interesting. I think that the reason I'm saying that I think that you should give some indication of what the fence is gonna look like, because,
Well, I did with
It's
the
not- it's
historic
what?
review board already, I submitted that already.
oh, we already have that somewhere here?
You don't, but I gave that in package to the historic review board already.
Oh, well,
And I
What
wasn't
I'm-
told you needed that for this,
Right.
this meeting.
So
Okay,
you-
well, I'm suggesting that it wouldn't be bad, because you're gonna have potentially people sitting here who are gonna wonder, well, what's this gonna be like?
Right.
And, you know, and we're gonna go, well,
I had-
technically,
I
he
had
doesn't
the
have to tell you,
Fence
but,
guy that I wanna hire already did drawings, scale drawings, and I submitted, you know, a brochure of the type of fence and.
right, so you could include that
I'll
package.
put
Yeah,
that in, yeah.
bring
You've
that.
already got the
Yeah,
package,
it's
so
already done.
you could include that for us. I'm just
Okay.
suggesting you could include that for
Okay.
us.
So you wanna, it will help make your case,
Okay, sure.
assuming it's a nice looking fence, which I'm sure it is. So Eric is suggesting that you also notify the house across Main Street from the parking.
Yeah, they have a
No.
clear view straight across.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, let's add them. I don't know their names. Or I can't tell what that address is. Let's see if we can figure it out.
Doesn't he just go to the village clerk and then
Yeah, it's this right
just tell
here.
him all the addresses and names?
So, let's see. So we're talking about this one, and probably that one, I guess,
Okay.
and probably not the one on the corner.
No,
Is
I
there another
couldn't
one
see
in the
it.
corner?
Yeah.
And then,
This is the one that's the most.
yeah, Eric. And then, this one and this one, you've got these and this building, and I think that's probably all you need.
Okay.
So, okay, so what you need to do is, if we schedule the hearing, I'll forward you, the public notice, and then you'll mail that to them with a return receipt requested. They don't actually have to sign it or anything.
Okay.
You just need the receipt that the post office delivered it, and
Okay.
you bring those to the meeting, to the public hearing.
Okay.
So the application is good, and you went to the trouble of getting your, the site plan and the, what's it called? This thing,
Survey.
survey, right, thanks. And we've got the denial, and we have, information from Jeff at the office that you've made the deposit into the escrow and paid the application fee. Let me just make sure I'm not missing anything. Building permit, copy the deed was in there. Design plans, you're gonna bring in photos and the design,
Yeah.
the fence design in addition to the new plan,
Yeah.
site plan. Got the environmental assessment form. You don't need to do the zoning conformance chart because you're not expanding your building.
Right.
So I think we have everything in place. The only thing I want to be sure of is that you know who you should notify by
Right.
mail.
Okay.
And maybe you and I can, just in the interest of moving things forward, if you just send me an email with all of the addresses once you get them, and I'll
Okay.
just take a quick look, and then we'll know
Okay.
that you've done it. Does anybody else have any questions about what we need to know for this to go to a public hearing? Don, you have everything you wanna see?
I think we're okay. I think we, it just helps to, even on a Google map, just do a little Google map of just screenshot it and just color in where it is in relation to the neighborhood. So
Okay.
people who might come here will go, okay, I know where this is.
Okay.
Easier to see.
Okay.
And then,
Okay,
I guess you'll talk to us about why we would grant the variance to you and not somebody else. What is it
and,
about your particular situation that makes it,
Well, I think bordering a business property with a parking lot would be a good
that's
argument.
a precedent, so
Yeah.
that's important.
well, there are, well, we'll get into it at the
So we
meeting.
can get in.
I mean, you can you can go and find other fences like this
Mhm.
on the property.
And if I would need to get down, these contacted, if I just go to the town clerk and get,
Yeah, they have.
okay,
Yeah, or knock on the door and,
You wanna send it to the address that they give you.
okay,
That's the way to deal with it.
okay,
Just send it to they'll give you the names and addresses, and if you send it to those, then you're done.
okay. Well, since the fence is partially on his property, though, we should see how he feels about that.
That's between you and him.
Yeah,
yeah, so technically that's his fence, I guess.
yeah,
Although they may not think of it that way.
okay.
All right, so our next possible meeting is the 17th, and we can schedule the hearing for that night if you're going to be here.
They should.
I'll be here. How about the two of you?
Mhm. I'll be here.
And I think John.
Yeah, I'll be okay.
Okay, so we have at least 3 people, so that's what we need to call the
Okay.
meeting. So I guess that's it. We'll schedule it for then.
Sounds good.
And I'll email you the hearing notice, and you send that to the people, and then bring the postal receipts back. That's the
Okay.
main thing. If without those, then we can't
Go for it.
have the hearing.
Okay.
All right,
Good.
All right.
thanks a lot.
Okay.
See you in 2 weeks.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I don't have anything else tonight, so.
The only thing I've been thinking about is that, I keep seeing in other communities, and I brought this up for years, the idea, in a lot of communities, they put a sign up that says, this property is gonna be the subject of a planning board or a ZBA hearing. Go to find out from the village clerk, what the issue is and when. And, it's a great way of noticing people other than the ones we, figure out on the parcels. The last time we talked about this, it was about 5 years ago. It got wrapped up into let's redo all the applications and the boards, and let's do a master application and all this kind of stuff, and it just got, and I just keep thinking that we should just, I think we have to talk to the trustees about it, but I would propose that we do something like that, so.
I think that's a good idea, and we could, maybe the thing to do is discuss it at our next meeting and get a consensus, and we can put that in the board report, and then that would have the hefty weight of the zoning board behind it. We could ask them to make that a change to the code for the zoning board for just that, in the interest of moving it along.
Right.
I think they would probably say, just put it in the code update that's coming. But we could urge them, I don't know if they would need to have a public hearing for that, or what would have to happen, probably, if they're changing the code.
I don't think it changes the code, because the code just says that the village board has to, approve our application process.
I'll take a look at that, so you're suggesting that we can do that without the village board?
No, I think we have to ask the village board, we have to inform them we'd like to do it, but I don't think that they have to hold a public hearing or, go through
So
it's not actually rewriting the code.
it wouldn't be a change to the code, it would just be a
No.
change to our application process?
Exactly, right.
John, you might want to talk with Matt Francisco. He's expressed a desire for a similar
Right,
sort of thing for their
right.
business.
Yeah, I could bring it up with Matt. The last time, everybody wanted to do it, but that's the problem. Everybody wanted to do it, and everybody had a different idea how to do it. And then it ended up just getting to, but there should be, if we're all gonna do it, we should, usually they have a common sign, and so, yeah, it was something I think we should get into. I think more communities are doing it, and, you know, it's a fail-safe way of letting the community know, or the little neighborhood know this is going on, and, you know,
Okay,
nobody can then say, gee, I didn't know, or I wish I had known, or whatever.
sure. So, I'll put that on the agenda for our next meeting, and we can do research in the meantime and maybe see what other villages are doing.
I had some old I took photos and I sent them around, so I can dig those out, send them new photos.
And I guess we'd have to get into whether, we can get into it next week, who makes the sign? What does the sign look like? You know, there probably needs to be a template for the sign.
Yeah,
so.
exactly, right.
Okay, so, I think we can adjourn if,
Okay,
anybody else. All right,
I'll second the motion to adjourn.
okay, we're adjourned. Thank you.